Hi there, friends. I'm so glad you are here today and you're watching. We are about to have a conversation with a man whose face I think you may recognize from the more than 20 films in which he has been an actor. He is not only an actor, he's a director, a producer, a screenwriter, and a founding partner in Pure Flix, and we've watched a number of films on that platform. His name is David A.R. White. My name is Jean Thomason, and this is Momentum Influencers Network. Hi there, friends. Here we are, as promised, with David A.R. White. We are thrilled to have you in our studio, David. It's such an honor. And before we even start to talk, I would just like to thank you. Thank you for being a founding partner for what has become Pureflix. Thank you for having a big heart for faith and family-based films. I am a person who is saying thank you. We're grateful. The world is grateful to you. The Christian and faith-based and family-friendly world, we are so thankful for you. So I guess before we even start, I'd just like to ask you that question. How did that even happen, that you had the opportunity to be a founding partner in Pureflix?
Yeah, we started in 2005. I had been doing, I think, Christian movies for since I was 22 years. Actually, since I was 18. I started when I was in Chicago going to Moody Bible Institute, and then and I was an intern on 2 films, and so two faith-based films, and little short ones, like 50-minute ones, with Ed McDougall, and then moved to LA, and I was 19 when I moved here, and ended up doing getting on a show called Evening Shade with Burt Reynolds, and was on that show for about 3.5 years. But in between there, I met a guy by the name of Rich Cristiano who put me in a movie called Second Glance, and I was 21. And then I would do them like every 3 or 4 years. I started doing them for the different ministries. So for Youth for Christ, or for Concerned Women for America, or Focus on the Family, they would do these small ones. So I did that all through my 20s. And like in my late 20s, I started producing. We produced a movie called The Moment After, and then Pureflix came about 4 or 5 years afterwards, where we realized we just needed a place to put these films, and there was a bona fide genre. We felt like the faith-based world deserved that, and so that's kind of where Pureflix came out of. And so it was just me and several other producer buddies of mine, that Michael Scott, Russell Wolf, and yeah, that's how Pureflix started. 3 guys in a garage.
That's great. That's a great story. I love when the Lord takes an idea and brings people along, and then just causes it to have just the energy to become something bigger. And we also my group of people that you're talking to, we watched Redeeming Love, and I know that you were instrumental in that movie. We've seen you in God's Not Dead. We've seen you in Revelation, right? Revelation Road.
Yeah, the Revelation Road.
Those movies. And so today we're talking about this new film coming out October 6th, which is Nothing is Impossible. So dive right in and tell us what's great about this film.
Nothing's Impossible. This is something that it's funny how art imitates life in a lot of ways, or life imitates art, right? We started the script years ago. I always wanted to do a sports movie, and had never done one, and just wanted to. I found this story that was just about like The Rookie in a lot of ways, where
Right.
this basketball player had missed his shot at his dream of going to the NBA. And in the process, there's a whole romance going on with the owner's daughter, and so what I loved about this project, though, was that it started out as a script, and then it took we probably did about 10 to 12 versions of the script, and it was in like 2015 it started. So it took 7 years to get it to finally to be able to shoot it. and it just kind of mirrors what the movie's about. Like in the process of something that you attempt to do, or you think that you do, or God gives you a dream, puts this thing in your heart that you feel like you're supposed to go and accomplish something, and then it just keeps getting stopped at every way. And so that was this movie, and I'm so proud of it. The way that it turned out, it's beautiful, it's fun, it's you know. Characters are all just wonderful. So yeah, I'm excited to finally share this with the world.
That is wonderful. I love that. One of the big themes I noticed was the idea of abundant life. And so talk for a minute about how Scott had a struggle to believe and embrace the concept of abundant life.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's anytime we have disappointments in our life, anytime that it doesn't turn out exactly like we think that it's going to, the idea that that God calls us to that verse, I will do exceedingly abundantly beyond anything that you could ever ask or imagine, right? And when we have had disappointments as human beings, for many years, a lot of times that dream fades, and we can't see how in the world the Lord's going to work it out or bring something something beautiful out of this brokenness. And that's really the core of what this film is about, is that even in the midst of shambles or the brokenness, that God brings something beautiful out of it.
I loved that. Even what you're saying now, just so many people need to hear the idea that our past failures don't have to define us.
Amen. Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
That's so true. And we find it in, there's all these different wonderful characters in this movie. We have such a great cast, but also just the characters are so rich. Tommy Blaze, really, I think he was the writer who brought it home, but also Andrea Nasfeld was heavily involved in this, and Andrea, both of them have written many of our I'd like to say blockbusters in a lot of ways. And so just the writing alone, it just starts with that script, and I think that's what's so key in movie making, is the script just has to be, if that's solid at the beginning of it all, then it will see itself all the way through.
After being in so many movies and helping to being a screenwriter yourself, actor, producer, all the things that you've been, can you pull out 2 or 3 things that you really loved about this script and about the way that the movie finished? What would you say?
The movie has just so much heart to it.
Oh.
And I think that's like the thing that relates people to each other is authenticity and heart. And I think when we watch something and when we're moved by something, we identify with those characters. We identify with what they're going through, because we can kind of see what we're going through in our own lives in a lot of different ways. And I think that's what's so beautiful about this movie, is that it's just this, our goal was always to make positive, uplifting, inspiring movies. And this thing hits on it is positive, uplifting, and inspiring in every way. It encourages you in your faith. It lifts you up in your day. Just that, like, it's just a fun movie. There's a lot of laughs in the film, but at the same time, there's also all this heart in the movie too. And it's a movie for the whole family.
I'm excited for our viewers to see this movie. I think they'll be so encouraged by everything that you've just said about from the Lord, just that, yes, we don't have to be defined by our failures, and God is able, and nothing shall be impossible, like Gabriel said to Mary, and Jesus said it too. With God, all things are possible. Thank you, David. Thank you for your perseverance. Thanks for sticking with this movie for 5, 6, 7 years and working through a pandemic. We applaud you. We are excited. We thank you for your work and what you've done in the past, what you're still doing. It's a gift to the Christian community. It's a gift to anybody, because they are going to watch this movie and they're going to think about how God can make a difference in their own lives. We appreciate that. Is there anything that you'd like to say as we're wrapping up and finish? What would you like the viewers to take home?
Yeah, I just the movie is so sweet. It's so encouraging. It has an unbelievable cast. I love all these people that I was able to work with. At the same token, they're also gifted in what they do. You know, everybody from Harry Lennox, who's been on the blacklist for the last 11 years and just is
Yes.
amazing. To Stephen Bauer from Scarface and so many other things that he's worked in over the years. Even Nadia Bajorn is just like she's been on Days of Our Lives, I think, for like 21 years or something like that. But and then Robert Amaya, I ever since like 6-7 years ago when we were writing this thing, I was like. I always saw Robert playing my best friend in this thing, and I'd never worked with Robert before, and
Oh.
he's just wonderful as well. And so there's a myriad of from Stella Parton, Dolly's sister, and just there's so many wonderful little nuggets of gold I think in this movie, and I think no one will be disappointed when they watch it.
Great. Tell our viewers how they can see this movie.
Yeah, Nothing's Impossible hits the Pureflix platform. It's exclusively on there on October 6th. And so please tune in for that. And I think you will love it.
Absolutely. David, thank you so much. We're honored to get to speak to you. God bless you and all that you're doing in your future and your family. We appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. God bless you.